The Demon Slayer anime, is this potentially anime of the year for 2019? Or are some people overhyping it? So what's up guys, Foxen here. So I just saw the first 5 episodes of Demon Slayer here in Japan, Tokyo. Let me go ahead and give you my first impressions. And don't worry, I'm not going to spoil anything past the first 3 episodes. By the way, if you do enjoy my anime breakdowns, reviews, and first impressions, be sure to smash the thumbs up and subscribe. You're helping out the channel a ton when you do that. So let's go ahead and get started. First off, what is Demon Slayer even about? The initial setup is pretty simple. You got the setting, it's Japan, except really old school Japan. Oh, but there's also demons. Right now, there still is a lot of unknown about these demons, but they do come out at nighttime to feast on that delicious human booty. Young, old, delicious, beautiful, doesn't matter. On the flip side, demon slayers exist that work to kill off these demons before they get all nice and plump. Honestly, this description reminds me of Bleach with their hollows and shinigami. For the world, so far the Demon Slayer world feels pretty small. I would actually count this as a positive since it does give the story room to flesh this out. Room to expand on this demon inhabited world, with time. I brought up this being a distant Japan setting. I do wonder who is in power here. Is it the standard Emperor system in place? Going forward, I would like the Demon Slayer system to be expanded on. How does one go about becoming a Demon Slayer normally? Not like Tanjirou. Are there potential demon hunters outside of this system? Since like you've seen in the first episode, these guys clearly don't catch everything. What exactly are the demons? They're already hinted at some sort of class or ranking system between them. On top of that, how many more partial demons exist like Nezuko? You can guarantee she's definitely not the first time this happened. Will this Demon Slayer anime ultimately have this obvious plot twist? You know, like from past anime or manga series. Something like, oh, the Demon Slayers created the demons. Is everyone in the controlling power all demons? This would include the Demon Slayer group. So many burning, juicy questions. Anyway, for the protagonist, you got Tanjirou, whose family unfortunately got eaten by these freaking demons. On top of this, you have this partial demon sister who survived that assault. Now it's time for Tanjirou to go on this quest and adventure to become a Demon Slayer and hopefully return his sister back to normal. Really a pretty standard, normal shonen setup. And let me just mention, this whole demon sister thing, now being a partial demon, really gave me this Claymore vibe. I was a huge fan of Claymore, so that's always a plus. Next up, let's go down the characters, starting with Tanjirou, the protagonist. What is your superpower? I got a great nose, like a puppy. Seriously, this is actually something pretty unique in terms of special gifts for a shonen main character. The only other anime that comes to mind with something similar-ish was that dog guy from the Boruto's Dad series. For Tanjirou himself, comparing him to past shonen anime, he's definitely nothing like Naruto or Astra from the recent Black Clover series. In other words, not this loud, borderline, annoying character that people don't like to start off. If anything, the village actually really likes him. Tanjirou also doesn't compare at all to other shonen guys like Ichigo from Bleach. Although clearly different in personalities, Tanjirou is more comparable to say like a Deku from My Hero Academia. He even shows some of the traits from the trio from the Promised Neverland anime. This is actually pretty interesting too, since it feels like there's more and more shonen protagonists being made who are more calmer and more strategic compared to a few decades ago. Maybe it'll switch back eventually. I do also have to mention, besides his sense of smell, so far Tanjirou hasn't gone down that shonen main character trope of being born with a special power or being given this plus ultra enhancement. Let's see if it actually stays like that. Really quickly, let me touch on the design of Tanjirou. Really interesting to see a main character with a scar on his face. That'll definitely bring an extra challenge to the animation team. It almost reminds me of this curse or demon mark. I'm sure you can recall a ton of anime characters like this. On top of this, you have purplish dark hair for the main character. It reminds me of Deku's dark green look. Clothing wise, nothing really too special, it just screams Japanese soldier, or rather Japanese schoolboy for the present day. Overall, I think I'm pretty neutral with Tanjirou's look. Let's see which way I swing eventually. Switching from Tanjirou, let's talk about his sister, Nezuko, also known as that partial demon surviving sister. So far, I really can't say too much about her since she's gone all demon mode. Before that, we got like a few sentences. She seems fairly nice, and selfless too on top of that. Unlike Tanjirou, it seems like she got quite the upgrade with that demon mode. Let me just mention that right now I'm really hoping they develop her further and actually let her talk. I'm getting the feeling there's a lot of potential with her. Let's see if they actually take advantage of that. Really quickly, the design of Nezuko. It definitely screams Japanese with that kimono. She also is just drenched in pink for the dress, eyes, and that bow on top. Not a complaint though, it just adds to her cuteness. Nezuko has pretty standard black hair on top too, notably with orange ends. I don't recall if that happened with her going all demonic. Then you got that log in her freaking mouth. I'm hoping that she takes that out of her mouth soon. With that, Nezuko really reminds me too much of a puppy, just waiting for her owner to take the stick she brought back. Next up, let me talk about that Demon Slayer guy. So far from what little you got, I'm pleasantly surprised. They actually managed to turn this short encounter into this defining fleshing out moment. I should also mention he gave this potential rival vibe, but that may be too early to call. I could see that even if it's not physical, I'm sure that Tanjiro and this guy's ideologies will clash someday. Next up, the other character, the red demon masked guy. So far this guy appears to be the Kakashi or Aizawa figure of this Demon Slayer anime, maybe even a Jiraiya figure. So far I do feel pretty neutral about him, maybe leaning a bit positive. Right now there's just too many mysteries and unknowns about him so far. Let's see if he actually sticks around after these first 26 episodes, which has been confirmed by the way. For the story overall, I did mention it being pretty standard. One really positive thing I do have to highlight is a comedy. Of course, comedy is always super subjective, but so far it's actually worked pretty well for me. I was worried with some of the early comedic moments, just thinking, are they going to overdo this? Thankfully it looks like they don't drag it out. Let's hope it stays that way. As for some issues or nitpicks, and really more like nitpicks, I got 3. The first is the sister, Nezuko. Obviously right now she's a huge motivating point for the Tanjiro. I'm hoping that eventually changes a little bit, really hoping that Nezuko becomes much more. Especially since she's quickly reduced to this almost pet status after becoming a partial demon. I do feel like Demon Slayer will eventually get to this, but it's just gonna take its sweet time, although I don't mind the slow burns. Second nitpick, the main character development. From the first 5 episodes, it feels like Tanjiro is growing and progressing extremely quickly. That is, in comparison to other shonen guys like Naruto, Ichigo from Bleach, and recently Deku from My Hero Academia. Even in My Hero Academia, where Deku technically started with the full power of One for All, it really took in quite the episode count for Deku to even get to the full cow 5% control. In comparison, it seems like Tanjiro already made quite the progress by episode 5. Hell, even episode 4. To be fair to Demon Slayer, I should mention there isn't really this clear power level or power ceiling established yet. So in reality, it is hard to tell. So far, there's only been that Kakashi Aizawa type of character who got introduced as that red mask dude. And also the previous Demon Slayer guy. Right now, just trying to do some type of power level comparison would be super unclear. I'm sure they're going to establish that. And for my last nitpick, by episode 5, they have done some important fight that'll take place for Tanjiro. I'm not going to go into the exact details. While I can't say the fight was a letdown, it also wasn't exactly too memorable. They did try to set up or hint at a few things from Tanjiro's opponent, but let's just say it didn't really leave an impact for me. If anything, they might actually be taking more of the My Hero Academia route, where they use the fights to establish more of the story, instead of the fights being this grand spectacle. The animation also was expected as seen from the first 3 episodes, but nothing that'll really make you point at it and potentially get other anime fans interested. Talking about the animation, let's switch over and talk about that. For this, you have Ufotable returning, which really smells of quality animation. Honestly, that's one of the things people have been hyping up everywhere. But oh my god, did this look freaking gorgeous on the big screen. The style reminds me of something like the My Hero Academia Season 2, or even Drifters. Anyone recall that? Although I do have to mention something I previously brought up. Nothing really too complex or mind-blowing done yet. And that's even by one of the major action scenes that took place by episode 5. Let's see what they do for the longer upcoming action scenes. That being said, I am liking a certain power set that's pretty stylized. It just screams Japanese. It actually reminded me a little bit of Bleach. You'll see what I mean by episode 4 or 5. This got me thinking and made me wondering how amazing would past shonen be like Bleach or Naruto if they were actually done with this level of care. Right now, fingers crossed that Ufotable stays for the entire Demon Slayer anime adventure. Come on guys, pay your taxes! Next up, let me talk about the music. The god tier YUKI KAJIURA returns to do the soundtrack. You definitely know some of her anime works like SAO, Madoka, and a ton of the Fate anime series. This Ufotable anime and her is like the perfect blend. As for the opening for this, you do have Lisa doing the opening. In other words, another SAO alumni. Those of you who've been around a while just know how much of a big fan I am of Lisa. Been a huge fan for years now. That being said, this opening for Demon Slayer was really just okay. It's good. But for me, it really is missing that kick that a lot of the Lisa songs have. Maybe I'm just comparing it to some of her amazing recent work from SAO Season 3. Let's see how much of this Demon Slayer opening grows on me. I'm sure it'll happen. Anyway, getting into my overall thoughts. Ufotable plus 26 episodes plus KAJIURA YUKI returning. This is really a match made in heaven. This really has all the elements to become a huge potential hit like My Hero Academia. Going back to the original question I asked, could Demon Slayer actually be the anime of the year? The answer to that is that it definitely has a great shot. Perhaps this Demon Slayer anime could even dethrone My Hero Academia from a couple of anime award slots, but see if this gets any backlash from anime fans. So I mentioned all this good stuff, and here's one major hope that I hope doesn't happen. Please, no Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Super stuff. Unfortunately, you did have Naruto going to that route at the very end. At the moment, Demon Slayer does feel pretty grounded, so really hoping it stays that way. And let me just double down on that My Hero Academia comparison because I really think it's justified. You got a top studio, a god tier music composer, with a pretty captivating story. Potentially you could even see a new season of this yearly. Can you say hell yeah? If you're not watching Demon Slayer, you definitely should. It'll definitely be worth the ride. But anyway, more important, let me hear from you. Are you liking the Demon Slayer anime? How do you think it compares to your favorite past shonen anime, especially in comparison to early on? Do you see the potential that Demon Slayer has with its godly combination? Let's hope it doesn't fail to deliver. Anyway, be sure to smash that thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.